The Moving Iron Podcast is brought to you by these great sponsors. Are you looking to value your equipment more accurately, target the right buyers and close more deals, reach your ideal customer? Then look no further. Fusable isn't just about ag data, it's about action. Our best-in-class solution empowers you to value your equipment accurately, make informed decisions, and find the perfect prospects. Ignite your dealership's growth at fusable.com/movingiron-podcast. Out in the field, every decision counts. You wouldn't plant without testing your soil, so why would you prospect blind? Introducing EDA, your one-stop shop for ag equipment intel. EDA goes beyond specs and prices. You get deep dive data on every piece of equipment like UCC filings that help track ownership changes and uncover potential sales leads. D&B firmographics, which help you understand the financial health and buying power of potential customers. Market trends that help you stay ahead of the curve, and insights on equipment demands and pricings. With EDA, you're not just looking at data, you're seeing opportunity. Find the right buyer, sell smarter, and build lasting relationships. Visit edadata.com for your free demo and unlock the power of knowledge. For over 80 years, Iron Solutions has been your go-to data source for ag dealers, lenders, and manufacturers. Get powerful appraisal and value forecasting tools that fuel profitable decisions anytime, anywhere. Get your free demo at ironsolutions.com. Iron Solutions, confidence in every click. Today, there are many ways to finance ag equipment, but nobody delivers simple, fast, or flexible financing like AgDirect. Learn more about your options to buy, lease, and refinance equipment at agdirect.com. Valley Transportation has been hauling ag and construction equipment across the country for the past 33 years. Call Parker at 800-657-4910 for all your trucking needs. At Valley Transportation, our goal is to help you reach yours.
When you partner with Axon, you immediately gain access to a full range of products and solutions designed to meet the complex needs of today's grower. We carry all major brands and sizes of tires and wheels. We specialize in large diameter wheels for large equipment. We have one of the largest OEM replacement wheel inventories in North America. Known for extreme flotation setups, duals, and triples, we have wheels for all makes and models of tractors, sprayers, combines, and grain carts. If we don't have the wheel in stock, we'll custom build, sandblast, and paint in-house. There isn't a more vast inventory in North America dedicated to helping dealers move more iron. With facilities on the West Coast and in the heart of the Midwest, leverage our 230,000 square feet of indoor inventory to solve any problem a grower may have. Move more iron with Axon.
Moving iron in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving iron time and time again. Through the years you'll find us here. Moving iron.
Hello and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast. Markets with Shawn Hackett. Shawn Hackett is with Hackett Financial out of Boca Raton, Florida, and he's nice enough to come on and talk about what's happening in the world of commodities. Shawn, how you doing this morning, man?
Doing pretty good, Casey. Pretty good.
It is a, we've been talking about this a lot lately, but it wasn't until yesterday when I was driving down I-80 that I actually rolled my window down for a minute just to see what it felt like outside, because I looked at my thermometer and it was like 62 degrees or 50. I don't remember what it was, 58 or 62 or something like that. And nice sunny day. And I was thinking to myself, is this February or is this May? And the temperatures are, for the last 3 weeks, have been at all-time record highs. You've talked about that. I talked to a friend of mine in Montana, and they had 70-degree weather the other day. So the stratospheric warming event that you've talked about is in full swing, Shawn, but it's got to come to an end pretty soon sometime.
Well, it has to come to an end. Just because it comes to an end doesn't mean you have to get the polar vortex to destabilize. It doesn't always have to happen. There has to be the right set of circumstances. First of all, you typically have to have a negative quasi-biennial oscillation, which we've talked about before, which is a stratospheric east to west winds, which we have. and you have to have some other factors like momentum and other things. But all those factors created the last. Remember, in mid-December we had 100-year record warm temperatures, and then we got this destabilization and had 100-year record cold temperatures the first 3 weeks of January. Now we're getting a reset. Typically, when you get a second stratospheric warming event after the first one, it will destabilize again, and the second one will have a longer duration to it. So the first one was 2 or 3 weeks. This one's likely to be 3 to 4 weeks, kind of double the time. And we should be looking at similar differentials from normalcy. Now, it is a little warmer in February into March than it is in January, but overall, the differentials from normalcy should be equally as strong, and lots of snow. Blizzard kind of conditions that played havoc with travel and all that sort of thing. And the real problem with what you just said, with 65 degrees in Montana and in Nebraska, and obviously it's even warmer further south you go, is all those winter wheats coming out of dormancy when it's not supposed to be coming out yet. And so the risk here is that we get the rope-a-dope and we get this big dramatic piece of the polar vortex shoots into the U.S. ahead of protective snow cover, while wheat is not protected by being in dormancy, and you could have a really higher order winter kill event. Most years there's no chance that this could happen in February, like zero chance. Doesn't mean what I just said has to happen. Maybe the snow comes first, but there's a legitimate chance that this could happen. That you could have a 1 in 50 year to 1 in 100 year winter kill event if you got this cold coming in. Because normally wheat, after a couple of months of winter weather, is hardened. It's in dormancy. It can handle it. There's snow cover. We're not going to have any of that. So that really is the big risk here that happens. Obviously, we know the demand for natural gas and heating oil would go up a lot as well. So, we still got a very warm week ahead. And then it just shifts. And I can show people what the shift of the polar vortex is going to look like and how dramatically it's going to change, and why we're so confident that we're going to get this next polar vortex event. And it'd be pretty interesting to see people what a normal polar vortex looks like and what it will look like around mid-month and beyond. So,
all right. So while you're pulling that up, Shawn, I'm going to make sure everybody knows that Moving Iron's official data partner is Fusable, the home of iron solutions and EDA data. Ignite your dealership's growth at fusable.com.
All right, so this is the polar vortex. Normally, this is how it looks. Symmetrical. It's a cylinder. It spins. All the cold air is trapped inside. This is where we are right now. It sucks all the cold in, leaving it warm. This is where we are. Now, what's happened is the air up here is super, super warm, displacing the cold, okay? If that process destabilizes the cylinder here, you have a polar vortex event that creates crazy cold, snow, winter conditions, that sort of thing. So there's two things you have to have. And first is you have to actually have a sudden stratospheric warming. That means the air up here has got to get crazy warm for a few weeks, which happened in mid-December, and it's happened now. And then that has to destabilize, meaning this has got to get really distorted. So this is what we are today. This is what we're going to be looking at. Now that's what we're going to be looking at on February 21. I'm going to go back. This is normal. This is what it's going to look like in a week and a half. Notice, totally unsymmetrical. It's actually splitting. This is a split polar vortex. We have two individual cylinders split. This is a serious destabilization of the polar vortex. Notice the orientation. Notice it coming into the U.S., into central Russia, northern Europe, into Asia. So what we have is a crazy distorted polar vortex and it's so distorted, it's split, and it's in the orientation that would bring it, this cold in. And what happens a lot of times is even a piece of this, Casey, will break off because it's getting so ragged, and it'll just break off and come in and create, really extreme. So this is what we've been talking about. Normal. Now this is, so let's look at the, notice around the 13th. Notice how this is starting to get a little destabilized.
Right.
More by the 14th. See how it's getting even more destabilized so you could see 13th, 14th, 15th. We're going to start to see things changing in the atmosphere, and then it just unravels. It unravels until and then a split polar vortex. We didn't even get this one the last time. We didn't get a split. The last one was just distortion. This is a split. This is even more unusual to get a split like this. This means this is going to last longer, and it's going to be even more. The differentials from normalcy, could be even greater. So this is a wild, highly unusual situation. When you're getting this close, the closer you get to these distortions, the more it's pretty much going to. The chances of it not happening now are pretty remote. So anyway, this is what we've been speaking about, Casey, for weeks now, that this was going to happen mid-month. And it's actually looks like it's going to be even worse than we might have thought. And, if we get this, in terms of snowfall, Casey, as you know, very difficult to, very, very difficult to determine snowfall until you're right there within a couple of days. But, we're going to be watching now. We're very comfortable this cold's coming in, and we just have to see, will it come in before the snowfall? Even if it comes in with the snowfall, it would be a problem. So the bottom line is there's an event that could create a shock in the winter wheat market. It could cause a big short covering rally, potentially, if it happens. And it could cause some of the speculators who were record short corn and soybeans to get spooked out of the markets, and it could cause a kind of a grain market short covering rally from something that just, the market does not anticipate something like this. I didn't anticipate that we would. I mean, my idea of a freeze was early May, first half of May, as you know. Even I didn't think that we were going to get a situation where the warm up would be so warm that we would get the chance for wheat to come out of dormancy and create this opportunity. That really developed here in the last week and a half, but it's happened, and now this is a situation that normally has absolutely, positively no chance of happening. It could really happen here. So we'll find out if snow saves the day or not. But if it doesn't, everyone's looking for a catalyst. Everyone's looking for what's going to get the speculators to get out of the market or create a short covering rally or technical rally or anything like that. This is certainly a possible catalyst to do that. If it does that, and you're somebody that needs to sell, cash sell, wants to cash sell, already did some cash selling, into panic, then use that as an opportunity to sell into strength and try not to sell into weakness. Get in the habit of selling the strength if you need to do something on the cash side.
Okay. Can you pull back up your chart there, Shawn? I have a few questions on just when you're looking at that and you're showing where it started to split and destabilize, those kind of things. Where are the dates at where you start seeing significant change
this is the
in
date
weather
right
as far
here.
as temperature goes?
So this is now. See February 5th right here. See it? So So this is February 11th. It's slight, not nothing too worried about yet, right?
Right.
Now, and remember, it's not the bottom. The bottom is what affects us. The top does not affect us. This is the upper stratosphere, but the top gets going first, and it works its way down. So this is the 13th. Okay, 14th. Now notice on the 15th, look what happens at the bottom. The first time that we're seeing the distortion up top translating to the distortion on the bottom is what affects us. So the 15th is the first point where you see the bottom part of the polar vortex lining up or linking up with the top end of the polar vortex. So now then we move over to the 17th. It's getting even more wild. 19th split. So this is, look at this. So from the 17th, Casey, so 2 days later to the 18th, 19th, a split polar vortex at the bottom, and look at the orientation. It's this way, which means it's coming right on into the North America. Right on in.
Okay. So basically on the 15th, the 13th through the 15th is when you're going to start seeing
yes.
Right?
The 13th to the 15th is the turn. It's when things are going to start to transition, and then it's a rapid fire. That's right, 13th to the 15th, and that's what we've been saying mid February all along. That's where we're going to start to see tangible changes in our weather, our cold, our snow outlook, all those sort of things. So that to me continues to be the place to look for the big change, and then. This goes out to the 21st split polar vortex, but all my work, I went back to 1950 and looked at every single time we had two sudden stratospheric warming events that led to polar vortices afterwards, and the second one always lasted twice as long as the first one. So it's a cumulative thing. So this one would last, instead of lasting 2 to 3 weeks, it would last about 3 to 4 weeks. So this would take us clear through the second week of March before winter would end and it would be over. So this is going to be a wild situation. All kinds of travel problems, all kinds of snow blizzards. Like I said, look for winter kill issues. Wellheads freezing over for natural gas again, like the last time. Think of the heating oil market in the Northeast. Northeast is going to really get it this time. If you look at the orientation, notice how it's a little more on the eastern side than the last one, which was a little more on the western side. This is going to be central, northeast, east kind of an orientation with this one. And it's split. When it's split means that it more of it's going to come in because you're even further distorted than you were the last time. And it increases the risk that a piece of this just breaks off. It literally just breaks off and it's led astray. It's a wild. This you're never going to see a more wild polar vortex. This is just not anything remotely normal of what you're supposed to see. This is a wild situation pattern. I mean, a split polar vortex probably in the last 20 years, maybe we've had 2 or 3 of them. The last one was not a split. This is a wild pattern, Casey. That's all I can tell you. And as docile and as unworried as the market appears to be now, unless there's a dramatic change in this outlook for the polar vortex, which I don't believe is going to happen, this is going to come on. This is going to come on in out of nowhere, and it's just going to surprise everybody, unless you're a junkie like me with weather and does this for a living.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's you were talking about that. Now it kind of lays it out there.
A lot, but sometimes visually to see what it actually is going on, I think it really makes you understand what is going on, why it means what it means, and how unusual it is, and how quickly it can develop. It's perfect. Not like it's just blows up just like that. I mean, people don't realize how quickly these things develop, and that's why they always just come out of nowhere and surprise everybody. And the models cannot figure this out until it's right there. They just can't figure it out. They never figure it out. So
yeah. So when I'm watching the news and I call it out on the 13th through the 15th, we're going to see a change in weather, and I can go to Vegas and put some money on that. And
I certainly am not condoning gambling and anyone's affliction or addiction whatsoever. But if if this happens to create this kind of a weather shock outcome and creates a stir in the grain markets where we get short covering and we get a sizable move higher in the market, at least for a little while, farmers who are scared to death right now, who need to sell, who want to sell, who don't have the storage, got to move the product, or the banks are telling they got to sell. If this happens, and I'm just, use that opportunity proactively to bring more money home in the farm with your cash sales instead of selling into the hole of fear, which unfortunately farmers far more often than not find themselves doing, they sell into the hole instead of selling into the rally. So I don't know for sure. No one knows for sure if this is going to play out exactly in that way. But the point I'm trying to make is you normally have no chance for this type of a weather shock. Zero chance. You usually get one chance out of 50 for something like this in February. This has a legitimate chance if the cold comes before the snow. Even if the cold comes with the snow or after the snow, if the snow is light, it still could cause a lot of issues. So we'll see. I guess the good news about all this, we don't have to wait months upon months to find out if I'm just a mad scientist that has no barriers or I'm onto something here. So.
Right. We got to call the Weather Channel. Start throwing out some names for the winter storm, so you can get yours. Maybe they call it winter
Casey,
storm. Put it out there that way.
I forget how long I've been on your show, but I mean, I've forecasted many of these events for years, well in advance.
Oh yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why
Yep.
I know I've been very good. I called the one in January, and this one looks really, really probable here that it's going to do what I just suggested. And I just can't. I don't know about the snow though. My tools don't allow me to determine snowfall timing and location, and I don't have the ability to do that. So full disclosure, the snow issue I don't know until we get much closer. But I'm really confident the cold's going to be there, and we just have to see how things line up. So.
Yep. So that you started on my show in 2018, and you called that big polar vortex that came through in 2019, and then the subsequent summer of 2020 that turned out for it was supposed to be record drought turned into record flooding. So
the polar vortex of 21, so where it went all the way down to southern Texas and created havoc out of nowhere. I mean, I just have I've done a lot of research on this over a long period of time, and there's certain things I look for. Southern Oscillation Index is crashing. It always happens before a polar vortex. Global angular momentum tends to be positive before these things. There's a lot of things that I look for to line up to tell me whether a warming event, a sunset warming event, is going to translate to a destabilized polar vortex at the surface, and everything is saying the likelihood of that is very high. And like I said, we're starting to see it showing up in these southern stratospheric modeling for the first time. So,
funny stuff to watch. Plenty of stuff to watch here, Shawn, as we continue through this rest of this month, as we go to some very key times, depending on where of the year, whether you're talking about planting or you're talking about spraying season. So a lot of stuff headed our way here. We got to pay attention to. So Shawn, appreciate you being on the podcast, man.
So
right on, man. Folks want to reach out to you. What's the best way to get a hold of what's going on over at Hackett
11? We have a LinkedIn page and a website at Hackett, Hackett, advisors.com, where we put out some posts from time to time of some of these things, some interviews that we do that kind of lay out how we use our statistics, cycles, and correlations to make these weather forecasts and price forecasts for our customers to see if what we do might be of value to those watching your show.
Right on, man.
Sounds good. Thanks, Casey.
Shawn, appreciate you. We'll catch you again on Thursday. Right on. I'm Casey Seymour with Moving Iron Podcast. Check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Moving Iron LLC, LinkedIn at Moving Iron Podcast. Go to the YouTube channel, which is the Moving Iron Podcast YouTube channel, and also check us out on TikTok and Snapchat at Moving Iron Podcast. Pretty close to having that website up. Should be up anytime now. Go to movingironllc.com for everything Moving Iron related, and they get information for the Moving Iron Summit coming up here in Nashville, Tennessee, November 4th through the 6th. That'll be at the Hilton downtown. Shawn will be there. So if you want to get a real deep dive into what we talk about here and snippets, Shawn will be there to give his 2 cents on what's going on there. So with that, I'm Casey Seymour with Shawn Hackett. With some Iron folks out. Iron Podcast is brought to you by these great sponsors. Are you looking to value your equipment more accurately, target the right buyers and close more deals, reach your ideal customer? Then look no further. Fusable isn't just about ag data, it's about action. Our best-in-class solution empowers you to value your equipment accurately, make informed decisions, and find the perfect prospects. Ignite your dealership's growth at fusable.com/movingiron-podcast. Out in the field, every decision counts. You wouldn't plant without testing your soil, so why would you prospect blind? Introducing EDA, your one-stop shop for ag equipment intel. EDA goes beyond specs and prices. You get deep dive data on every piece of equipment like UCC filings that help track ownership changes and uncover potential sales leads. D&B firmographics, which help you understand the financial health and buying power of potential customers. Market trends that help you stay ahead of the curve, and insights on equipment demands and pricings. With EDA, you're not just looking at data, you're seeing opportunity. Find the right buyer, sell smarter, and build lasting relationships. Visit edadata.com for your free demo and unlock the power of knowledge. For over 80 years, Iron Solutions has been your go-to data source for ag dealers, lenders, and manufacturers. Get powerful appraisal and value forecasting tools that fuel profitable decisions anytime, anywhere. Get your free demo at ironsolutions.com. Iron Solutions, confidence in every click. Today, there are many ways to finance ag equipment, but nobody delivers simple, fast, or flexible financing like AgDirect. Learn more about your options to buy, lease, and refinance equipment at agdirect.com. Valley Transportation has been hauling ag and construction equipment across the country for the past 33 years. Call Parker at 800-657-4910 for all your trucking needs. At Valley Transportation, our goal is to help you reach yours. This podcast is proudly provided by Axon, helping dealers move more iron for the past 100 years. Find out more at axontire.com. Move more iron with Axon.
Moving iron in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving iron time and time